this?
The fungi guy, the fungi guy. He finds the fungi, we find out why he's the fungi guy. The fungi guy, to find out about fungi. Then you could do worse than give this guy a try.
He's the fungi guy.
Hello, fungi folk. Well, this is a good one. This is a turn up for the books. Here I am, walking along the road, and I found something by the road. Yeah, where are you going to find them? Here they are. Let's zoom you right on in there. Hang on, I'm going to have to flip the thing and you can't do it. Watch now, hang on. Stay with me there. Go back from me. I couldn't do the flippy thing. Now, have a look at this. There they are. What are they? What are they right down there? Now, that's a cracky mess. Well, they don't look much fun, you say? Come on, Mr. Twiglet, they're not much fun. Yes, they are. They're very excited indeed. They're very excited indeed because those there tell me it's April. No, they don't tell me it's April. I know it's April. That tells me that mushroom season is beginning. I'm very excited about that.
How does he feel about this find?
So, I'm Alice Brain. Let's see how he's feeling about this find.
Happy chips!
Because this is the first proper gilled mushroom to come up, really, of the year. Aside of morels. That's not gilled, see? Trying to catch me out there, no, not thank you.
He needs to tell us what it is. Can you tell us what it is, please, Ali?
So yeah, first gilled mushroom to come out. And it's a beautiful thing, and I love this mushroom, and it's great for lots of reasons. It's great because, do you know what, is it better if you look at the mushroom instead of my face? Let's try that instead, here we go. And I'll describe it as we look at it.
Ali, can you tell them what it is?
Okay, let's have a look. Here we go, come on, tripod, in action. Ta-da! So it's great because there's not many other fungi that look like this whatsoever, and definitely not during this season. Have I told you what it is yet?
No!
No, tell them what it is.
So this is the St. George's mushroom because it comes out around St. George's Day. It used to be many, many years ago, it used to come after St. George's Day. But now, because of warmer climates, it comes out before, and that is true of today because it's April the 9th. So we're a couple of weeks ahead because it's warm. These mushrooms like warm conditions. If we have a cold winter, then it usually will stunt the growth and delay it. Anyway, should we have a little look at one of these? So these are particularly dry. So this is quite an extreme version of what you might often find. These are quite a dried out version, but let me cut one out so we can take a look. So we can see it's growing in a cluster, which is not unusual. They can grow solo, but often in clumps and often in little troops and groups. Troops and groups of these. Oh, that's a great example. Here's a good point. So it's got quite a clubbish base.
He needs to move that piece of grass. I feel like I can't see the mushroom for it.
Hey, have I told you what it is yet? Yeah, I have, haven't I? I've not told you its proper name. So this is the St. George's mushroom. Yeah, of course I've told you. But its Latin name is Calisime gambosa. Gambosa sounds like a baddie.
Move the grass! Oh.
Go and focus again. Oh no, tripod. Let's get rid of that bit of grass.
Hey!
So we've got some slight staining here, but that will fade. Oh, I'm leaning on very thorns. Just lent on hawthorns, massive thorns, which is and blackberries. What a combination of thornage. That's good. That could be a clue. We're under hawthorn. That could be a clue to something. And hedgerow, which is what these guys can often grow with. Let's get back down on it. I've just come down from the bank and found a fresher specimen just sat on its own. But good for him because he's made an appearance now. Because you can see actually, because it's fresher, it's much paler. It looks almost white, doesn't it, on the camera? But if you were here with me right now, you would see that it's actually a creamier colour than this. But cap, gills and stem, all quite pale and creamy. When it gets a bit darker and older, here we are, it gets more of a buff cream coloured. But still got the same qualities going on, which is this ruffled edge and also very, very, very closely spaced gills. No space at all, almost nothing. The gills are very close together. I'm not happy with my zooming feature. I shall have a look at that in a moment. So here's the extreme close-up. Wow, it's extreme! And these are the gills. Here they are. You can see that they're wavy because they're so crowded, really tightly packed in. Now, can you see that they don't join the stem? Huh! Don't be fooled, they do join the stem, but they're adnexed, which means only part of the gill actually touches that stem, that stipe. And actually, it's a little confusing because I've checked the books, and they also say sinuate, which means also partly touching, but it's toothed, which means it like drops down and then in, which we can see there. And another ID feature is this here. It's got a bit of a wavy margin. A little bit of a wavy... I don't know where I'm looking, do I? My eyes are everywhere. Is that off-putting? I bet it is. Let's go back to the mushroom. A bit of a wavy margin, and also rolls under, look. Enrolled, they sometimes say, like that. Whoop, and it curls round. So another key identifier. There we are. St George's! Yeah, cheers! Cheers. Cheers. Over there, Ollie. Right, the battery's running out. Sense of urgency. Don't want to forget that in mycology. What have I not told you? White spore print. Often grows in rings. I think I've told you that. Up to 100 years old sometimes. Normally grassland species, but to my date, and I've not found many, it's often side of the road, verges, and often under hawthorn. So there you go with that one. There's that fact. Anything else I can tell you? I think that's it. Well, I got home, watched the footage back and realised they did this big long spiel about a massive key identifying feature, and it was all blurred. So I'm going to do it again now, on the move. Kind of give it a kind of a dynamic feel about kind of an urgency. Whether that's required or not, I don't know. And that key identifying feature is its smell. The St George's has an amazing smell.
He'll be lucky to smell anything, he's full of a cold.
And it's all bunged up.
I'm not going to say unique, because there's a few that come under this kind of bracket. Oh, let me just tell you what it is. Up the pong. Up the pong, what's it smell of?
Nose trumpet.
It's quite remarkable. It smells mealy. Now, you might come across that word quite often, and that smell quite often, depending on the mushroom. But mealy meaning like flour and water. But for me, it smells differently to that. I put this down to putty. Putty, what's putty? Well, if you're my age or above, ask your dad. It's what used to put into windows, to help put windows in their frames before plastic UPVC. Used to use putty. I've had to slow down because I've come to the end of this path. And then the background won't be all green, it will just be roads, and that would look less like I'm outdoors than an outdoory person. So maybe I could just turn around and start going back the other way. Let's see if you notice. So yes, putty is the smell. But yeah, mealy, but I said it isn't unique, but I'm going to go back on myself because actually it is, because St George's has this particular mealy smell. There's something else about it. Some people say cucumber. I don't really get. But yes, a key feature, that particular smell, to recap, that particular smell, mainly white gills, white cap, white stem, stipe, but I say white, it's a pale cream, then it gets a bit buffer and cracked, and I've come to the end of my verge and I think I've made it. I managed to cover the smell. Great, enjoy yourself, bye!